Hey friends, and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to do a Disney debrief, aren't we, Johnny?
Disney debrief. Hello.
So it's like very rarely you see the two of us at the same time. We are two different people. I know we look very similar.
I know, right, don't we?
But no, it's like we just thought, it's been a while now since we come back, but I came back in January from Disneyland Paris. Johnny, you came back in August.
To be honest, August doesn't seem that far back from me, and it's in April. Why? How is it April at the time of recording this? Oh my word!
But yeah, so we thought
it wasn't too long ago.
No, it's still fresh in our hearts.
Yeah.
But we just thought we'll have a little chat about our different experiences. So Johnny went in on a bank holiday weekend in the summer. And I went in a random weekday in January. And we both had different experiences because Johnny stayed in a Disney hotel. I didn't stay in a Disney hotel. Johnny had the meal plan. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we didn't. We had Premier Access, and Johnny, you had
Extra Magic Time.
Yeah,
extra magic hour.
Extra magic hour. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we're just gonna have a little chat about different things. We got 10 different topics we're gonna go through now, and just pretty much just go through all that then to see the differences. So first of all, Johnny, can you tell me exactly when you went?
Well, exactly when I went was August the 26th. So it was actually the Saturday. It was super early, the flight. It was 7 a.m. Well, scheduled. It was delayed a little bit. And what our plan was to go from Saturday the 26th of August and then come back on the Monday, which would be the 28th of August. So that would have been 3 days in the parks, 2 nights in the hotel, but the first and last day would be a little less than a full day in the park.
Yeah, and that's quite nice. That's because you booked with, we'll talk about this in a moment, all the different things like that, but you booked with Walt Disney Company itself, didn't you?
Yes, yes. And there was a funny story behind that as well.
Yeah, which we'll come on to the issues and things later in the thing. But no, you booked with Walt Disney Company, so that means you actually could have 3 park day tickets, even though you were only there for 2 nights and things. Yeah. Whereas I had to buy our tickets separately, so we only had 2 days, even though we were there for 4 days and things like so. Which was fine because we didn't arrive there till 11 p.m.
That makes sense. Whereas we arrived and we had to arrive I think we arrived around about 11ish or half 11 or something like that, and then we went straight to the parks.
You were in the park by 1 p.m. when you like that, 2 o'clock.
So we travelled on the day that we entered the park for the first time, whereas you were had the night before, you could rest and
exactly. So we went on Sunday the 21st of January to Wednesday the 24th of January. So like we just said, it's our flights were quite later, so we arrived at the hotel at 11 o'clock, and then we went in then straight from that on the next day. And we had a nice long day on the Wednesday then to explore Disney Village. I've gone back to Walt Disney World, Johnny. But no, it's so it's nice there to have 2 different experiences, really. So we have the height of summer and the height of winter. Yeah, so that's pretty good, I think. That's pretty good. So crowd levels then. Johnny, you tell me, how were the crowd levels?
To be honest, it wasn't as crowded as I was expecting it to be. I think a lot of it is because it was the end of August, so I think a lot of people who have been on holiday throughout the summer holidays, they would have already been on holiday. So I think it was come to the end of that summer holidays that I think a lot of people were just not there. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it in the beginning of summer, but it was actually pretty good. Actually, I think crowd levels.
And you think with a bank holiday that it would have been
yeah,
busier,
exactly.
but
you would have.
it was a British bank holiday, not a French bank holiday, isn't it? So
Yeah,
that might be something.
And you could tell because you could tell there was a lot of British people in the park for bank holiday. We saw them at the airport as well, when we were waiting at the same plane in Disney shirts and things like that. And then funny enough, I even saw a Welsh shirt in Disneyland that day. So you could
I think when we landed, we were on the escalator, and I heard a voice and an accent, and I just turned around and I was like, "Are you Welsh?" And they were like, "Yeah, from Cardiff." And it's like, and it's like, what's the chances of that?
We find each other, yeah. We do,
find
each other.
We found somebody in Florida as well on a bus. We were talking, and they were like looking at us a bit strange. And then after a few people had left the bus, they looked at us and went, "Are you from Wales?" It's like yes. So crowd levels for us, it wasn't too bad. There was it's funny you were saying there was a lot of British people there. There was not a lot of British people with us. I think really so that's quite interesting there really queues weren't too bad as well. It's I think the most we queued for on a ride was 30 minutes for Orbitron.
Orbitron was quite a long one.
But we did a Premier Access as well, so that helped with a lot of the rides. But on average, all of the other rides that we didn't have Premier Access for, average of 10 minutes. It was between a walk-on and 15 minutes, pretty much. That's pretty impressive.
I mean, for me, when I saw your video about the Premier Access, I was like, Crush's coaster was like a walk-on almost, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, because how long did you wait for Crush's?
For us, Crush's was the longest one, and it was, I think, maybe 60 minutes, an hour, 70 minutes, 50 minutes. Yeah, I'm being told it was 50 minutes. Yeah, which makes sense because it was one of the first ones we did when we were still technically in the Magic Hour. So we entered the line when we were still in Magic Hour, and then even then it was still 50.
Yeah, and that's quite interesting that it was Magic Hour and you still waited 50 minutes for it and stuff. Yeah. So it's like me and Jem last week had discussed a little bit about Premier Access. Is it worth it? It's quite pricey for what it is. When you've only got there's 16 rides now because Pirates of the Caribbean's been added to it as well. But we could only do 14. There was only 15 for us and 14 rides we could do because one of them was closed and stuff. But so we might as well talk about that now. So we're going to talk about...
Yeah, that was a good segue into...
It was a really damn good segue. So we're going to have a look out now. Like I said, I did Premier Access. Johnny did Extra Magic Hours. Now, we'll talk about Premier Access first. So I got Premier Access Ultimate, which means nowadays you can do one of 16 rides. But like I just said, it was only 15 when I went, and one of them was closed, so we could only do 14. And we opted out of Autopia because we didn't want to do it. I know you guys did it, but so we did 13 out of 15 rides, which is not too bad. And we did that by 3 p.m. So I was like, that's pretty damn good going. But it was £80 each, so we paid £160 for that.
So how much is that per ride?
That's £5.30 per ride, really. So just over a fiver. With Premier Access 1, where you can just get one ride, and Orbitron is part of that, but it's not part of the Ultimate. Weird. That's the only ride that isn't. But and I think it's €10 per ride for a Premier Access 1.
I think it was, yeah, just like one ride. So I think I think it depends on like how long you're going to be there for. Because I know you needed to get your times like right. You needed to maximize your time.
Yeah.
So for you, it makes sense to do them all, right? So you make sure you do all the ones you want to do. But like, say for example, if it's for us and like we had a longer time there, and like we could be like, okay, we don't want to wait 90 minutes for Crush's Coaster. We'll just do that one, you know.
Yeah, and it's worth it then doing that, isn't it? Like so, and I think it's worth the note that one of the reasons why I paid for it is park opening hours. So we
exactly.
So like I said, I didn't have that extra magic hours. So we were allowed in at 9:30, and it was 9:30 on that dot the first day. They let us in about 2 or 3 minutes early the day before, but it was dead on 9:30. They let us through. And we only had until 6 p.m. in Walt Disney Studios Park and 8 p.m. in Disneyland Paris Park. So that's considerably less because it was still 9:30 opening for you, but you had that extra hour early.
Yeah. So for us, the magic hour is 1 hour before 9:30, so it's 8:30 doors open. So for us, it was like, well, the first day where we had magic hour, we were in the Disneyland Park itself, and we had basically we walked up to the gates just before 8:30. I think it was about 20 past 8 or quarter past 8, and they let us in. They scanned our tickets. They let us in. So we were walking through the Disneyland Park before 8:30, but then the first thing on that day's trip was the Peter Pan's flight, because again we didn't want to wait in that super long line. And when we got there, it was again just before 8:30, and the cast there were like, "Can you just give us a few minutes and you'll be the first ones on?" So yeah, it makes like. That was just our experience. The magic hour, they let you in, and it was great because like you got this entire theme park. And funny enough, like a lot of people, it didn't feel like a lot of people were making use of the magic hour even, because like 8:30 is pretty early, right, to be out and about. So
unless you're in Animal Kingdom, and we literally we were on the bus at 6:30 in the morning. We were at the park at 7 a.m. Park didn't open until 7:30. But it was the day after we flew, so we were like up at 3 a.m. like 5-hour flight difference. Anyways, this is not Paris.
Like this was for example, by the time nothing I think puts it better than this. So I had meticulously planned out the rides that we're going to do, the times that we're going to, taking into account wait-in times, taking into account walk-in between rides, and trying to make a good plan so that we can do rides kind of in a circle without having to like go everywhere, you know, enjoying the day. And all of the rides that I'd planned to do on day one, for the whole of the morning, we managed to do in Magic Hour.
Yeah, because you did about 4 or 5 rides, didn't you, in that Magic Hour?
Yeah, we did like 4 or 5. We did, what was it? We definitely did Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan's Flight, Big Thunder, Indiana Jones. I think those were the main ones.
Yes, you did some of the big hitters at that time. So I do think that is then worth it, really. It's like for us, it's like we did those 13 rides in 7 hours. So you did pretty much a third of what we did in an hour, really. But it's like we were across 2 parks. We did stop for food. It absolutely hammered down the rain. But we're going to come on to that next. Our next topic.
That's the thing again with the was it the fast pass? You need to make sure you use on the multiple parks, and Walt Disney Studios is quite far away from the other park. If you're in front of the castle to get to Walt Disney Studios, it's a trek.
Yeah, definitely. It's like it's not worth buying Premier Access Ultimate if you're not park hopping. If you're just doing one park, it's not worth it at all.
We had the luxury of being able to do Walt Disney Studios, then the next day for the next Magic Hour.
Yeah.
So we for that the Magic Hour was we didn't do as many rides, but we had walked in, and everyone, of course, for Magic Hour on Walt Disney Studios, they let us in at bang on 8:30, gates opened. So then we walked and we saw everyone go for Crush's Coaster.
Yeah.
And then there was like a line that was like mega long going back to where the Walt Disney statue is.
And that put you off then, didn't it? I remember you saying that.
Yeah. We were off with it, and we realized as well it was because, like with Peter Pan's flight, they hadn't quite opened the doors for that one yet.
Yeah.
So while we could have been waiting there for maybe a few more minutes, or like it could have been 5-10 minutes, I don't know, without even going any further in, we went and switched plans to go on to the Spider-Man Web Adventure, and that was pretty much a walk on, and we did that, had a great time. And then after that we went back to Crush's Coaster, gates were open, and we got in the line with half an hour, I think, of Magic Hour left, and then stayed there for 50 minutes, as we have said.
Yeah, no, that was a good shot anyway, but still 50 minutes, that's quite a long time. I think
it's quite a long time. I think it shows how popular the coaster is, and how the shells, they're quite small, they only fit a couple of people in at a time, don't they? So
yeah, but you did still do two of the big hitters. First thing, like, so it was and Walt Disney Studios Park doesn't have that many rides, does it? So
no, and that's the thing. We were like, it was quite satisfying using the app, and because the app is quite accurate with the times actually. And once we had done we were in Crush's Coaster line, and we were like, okay, we're coming to the end. And when Magic Hour ended and the rest of people came in, we saw on the app that it had gone up to 100 minutes of Crush's Coaster, and we were like, when we were in the Crush's Coaster, we were like, oh, Spider-Man Web Adventure is now 90-minute wait, and like it's quite satisfying that in that Magic Hour you kind of were not faced with such a long wait.
Yeah, that reminds me of when we were in Florida and we did Rise of Resistance. Now with Florida, you're only there for 30 minutes early access. So it was, and we went straight there, and we were literally, I think we waited 20 minutes and we were on the ride and things. And it was the same with Flight of Passage actually, but with Rise of Resistance, it was literally about an hour after, so about half an hour after main doors were opened, the queue was 2.5 hours long.
Wow.
So, and I have seen it go up to 5 hours before.
Oh my word.
So, yeah.
Oh my word.
But, so, yeah, it's like, it all depends really, of like, are you going to fork out the money to stay at a Disney hotel, or are you thinking, I'll just be a little bit cheaper and stay in in one of the Good Neighbor hotels, and then pay for that Premier Access? Now, there was only me and Gemma that went, so there's only 2 adults, so that's not too bad then, £160. Whereas if you've got a family of 4, you've got to think of that. I mean, it really, like, so it's like, to be honest, the money that you pay in for that, you probably pays for one of the cheaper hotels in Disney hotels. But well, there we go. That's just something for you guys to think about. So next, we're going to have a look at a big, massive thing. What is the weather difference between summer and winter?
Oh, we could talk about the weather for hours, can't we? So,
well, let's just say, I think it's safe to say, first of all, Johnny, did you get rain?
We did, only for one brief moment, but it came down hard. I'm telling you that. Like for the
it could have been the better moment
it could
for
have
you,
been
couldn't it? Yeah.
It was actually exactly in the parade. Okay, so for the rest of the bank holiday weekend, wall-to-wall sunshine, the weather was hot, the weather was sunny, t-shirt and shorts, you're loving it, you know? Yeah. Especially when you leave the UK and you're like, you just want to get some sun. Yeah. But then on the first day, when we were in line, like on the side, ready to watch the parade go past, like it started to go grey in the air. Like it was sunshine. Like I was in a cap and like burning with like the heat, and then it was like grey. And then like as the floats came by, then it started wind and like pouring down, maybe even some hail. I don't even know. It was just mental. And I remember because it was like exactly when you had like the Finding Nemo float. So it was like
immersion. That was Imagineering at its best. No, and with us, it rained twice. But the first day it came down, and it came down heavy, and it lasted for about an hour. And that was when we went in fine, boarded Big Thunder Mountain. As soon as we came out, it was raining, and we were like, ah!
I saw that. I was like,
and then it eased up a little bit, and we managed to go on Indiana Jones, and it just went out again. We were like the 2 outdoor rides that we went on that day.
Yeah.
And then the next day, then it was a little drizzly when we were park hopping across, so it wasn't too bad. Temperature-wise, I was wandering around in jeans and a hoodie. I was too warm in a big, thick coat. But on the Friday before, they actually had snow in Disneyland Paris.
Wow. So, I had seen that. They put a blog on their post. They put a blog on the Disney Parks blog about snow in Disneyland Paris. I had seen that.
Yeah, so that just shows how wild it is in Disneyland Paris. It could be either scorching hot weather and then all of a sudden the Great Flood, or it could be snowing and then the next moment it's like I'm wandering around in just a hoodie and things like so. So it is packed for all weather, whatever you go. I think really.
This is the thing. We packed light, right? We were only going for a long weekend. We packed a small bag.
And you did something that you should not have done. You went against some of my advice. You did not take a poncho.
I should have taken a poncho. Exactly for this. I should have taken a poncho because they fold away nicely. Because that's the thing. We had this small bag because we knew that likelihood the weather was going to be nice. So we didn't need a suitcase for heavy jumpers and coats and things like that. So we took a bag for a couple of days. A poncho would have fit. Definitely in that tiny bag, but we weren't prepared for a downpour. And I just remember like the floats went on past. We finished watching the show, and literally the rain had stopped by the end of the parade. So it was like literally minutes of torrential rain, and then I was there in shorts and a light shirt, and this shirt was drenched. My shorts was drenched, and I was like, well, now we've got our booking for waltzes, and I need to go in like to this nice fancy looking place like a drowned rat.
Yeah, because we obviously saw in your vlog, we saw the parade, and then the next thing then is like message up, we ran to our dining thing, and then the next thing is you're there eating your food.
What happened in that cut was I was like saying to Rebecca, my shirt is like drenched and the wind is making it stick to my skin and I'm freezing. And Rebecca was like, do you want me to go to one of these Disney shops and buy you a new Disney t-shirt to keep warm? And I was like,
you should have said yes.
I should have said yes. I should have said yes. But then, and then I was thinking about
let me pour this down, see if Gemma will let me have a new t-shirt.
So from like literally from the distance walking from the parade to Waltz's and all of the shops that are on Main Street, we did have a look in a few shops. And we were this close to get in. But then we were like, actually, in that time, I'm kind of drying off myself naturally, and then we were like, let's just go eat.
Yeah, and it's because you did have a light shirt, so it wasn't too thick.
Very light shirt.
Because you were just down from It's a Small World, weren't you? Yeah. So you were a fair walk away. You're not miles, but a fair little walk. You're probably about a third of the park up from there. So, but talking about that on Walt, that's a nice segue
Oh
into
my
our next
gosh.
one. We're just naturally doing this.
No, you wouldn't believe it, but that's actually next on the list.
Yeah.
Hey guys, just noticed that there was a technical issue with Johnny's camera. Mine was still recording, but Johnny's was not. Luckily, we were recording everything on Zoom as well as a backup, and I'm glad we did because this happened. And I've tried to edit together my camera's footage and with the Zoom call, but it's just too difficult because it's a lower frame rate and blah 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 blah. Very technical things. So I just thought we're just gonna go with the Zoom call for now. So there will be a dip in quality on me and Johnny's call, but you can hear everything. But I think that's okay. But yes, back to you guys.
So I think for both me and Rebecca, we both will say that for us, the dining plan that we had was worth it. So we had, there's lots of different ones that you can have. The one we went for was full board standard, because there's a plus version. But ours was just the standard version, which has breakfast included at your hotel. It has one quick service meal a day, one sit down meal a day, and on the last day, one quick service meal. Yeah, so we were planning the days, like with the rides that we're going to go on at specific times, what we're going to eat, like, and I think for me, like knowing, I think where you're going to eat at what times as well was very important for planning the overall day. Yeah. So, and considering as well that it was Rebecca's first trip to any Disneyland, I think it was good to have those sit down experiences as well with the restaurants having the theming as well. So and I noticed as well, like, so I was calculating like the cost and everything. To make this meal plan with it, you really do need to go for the sit down meals. If you have this plan and you don't have a quick service meal, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But for the full experience of having that, yes, you will save a lot of money, which is what I will get into when we do another video on that.
Yes, you are right. We are going to do a video completely on dining plan versus no dining plan and things like that. So and we will talk about the Florida meal plans as well, because they are coming out literally when this video comes out. I think in 3 days time, the new meal plans launch for Florida and stuff, so which we'll be looking at for our next trip when we go there. But yeah, so we paid just paid for it because we weren't in a Disney hotel, and I worked out it was just under £70 per day per person for us. And now with that, we saying that we did go to Skyline Bar and had some alcohol, so that bumps up the price a little bit. And we went to Pim's Kitchen as well, so that like added the price onto it. We were going to do Captain Jack's, but you did Captain Jack's last time as well, and we thought we don't have enough time. It's like you had quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
We have a very shorter day, and I think the time that we had booked, we would have missed the parade. So we decided to cancel that, and what we did then is we had breakfast in the hotel. That's free. That's no additional cost or anything. That's all within the price of the cheap hotels, which is great, really. And it's an all-you-can-eat continental buffet thing. They had pancakes and things like that as well. So that was really nice. And each day they shaked it up as well, so it wasn't the same every day. So they did that, and that set us up then really for the day. So it's like the first day we didn't eat in Cafe Hyperion until late at night. It was about 3:30, something like that. So it was late in the day. And Pim's Kitchen, we had about it was lunchtime, sort of noon. We had our Pim's Kitchen on the second day, but we did not eat after that until we had a Mackie D's in the night back at the hotel at about 11 o'clock. So it's like, and that's the thing with Disneyland Paris, it's a lot of buffet meals and things, really, isn't it? There's not a lot of sit down. You did go for the
Yeah.
meals
And
stuff.
to be honest, when we were looking at the options, we definitely went Walters, we definitely went Captain Jack's, and then because we heard that from people online that these ones are really good. But then people said also go check out Pim's Kitchen. So that was if we were going to do one more day, would have been the Pim's Kitchen sit down.
Yeah.
That's what we would have done.
So next time you go to Disneyland Paris, you got to do Pim's.
It's got to do it. It's got to do it.
I have to do Pim's in Disneyland Anaheim because that's actually you order. It's a quick service more than a table service buffet thing. So I've got to. I can compare and contrast them then. But next time me and Jem go, we are going to do Captain Jack's because why not? And then why not? So, but we really want downtown. We want downtown.
The theming of Captain Jack's was really cool. Like low light, watching people on the ride go past. I did enjoy that.
Yeah, we did look out for you when we were going past. But
yeah. I think the thing is, what surprised me actually most, I think, about the Disneyland Paris trip was that the food was actually really substantial. Like I was like I had not been to Disneyland in 10 years, like, so it had been a long while, and I was under the impression that it would be high price, low quality, this kind of thing that you see in lots of places. But what I saw over the board was that you could not fault it for quality. Like, no,
they were pretty good. It's like, to be honest, the food at Disneyland Paris doesn't jump out to me that I want a lot of it and stuff, but the food that we had was delicious. It's like the sports bar, fantastic, quick, easy meals and stuff. But then Pim's Kitchen was so tasty and stuff.
I think like
Hyperion. You went to Cafe Hyperion, didn't you?
That was also one that I would have wanted to go.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't, but I was thinking about it because I was like, they have a BB-8 burger.
That's what we had.
I know, I saw it. I was like, I wanted it. But no, it would have been that one. But yeah, again, next time. But yeah, I think the thing is, it's like with the breakfast in the hotel as well, like it got to lunchtime when we were like stopped for lunch. I was like, man, I'm still kind of a bit full from breakfast, you know? It's like, there was a lot of it, and it was not like they were passing off some, non-good quality stuff. Like the one as well, the quick service meal we had in the Marionette place was when Rebecca had that massive like barbecue chicken. Like, I was not expecting that,
No, it's like French people and their food. And it's like, but yeah, no, happy day. So the dine-in, I think it's how you want to do it and things. It's like you can save money by only paying for what you want, but then also there's that option of having the meal plan. You pay in advance, so it's just like you don't have anything later then, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about anything. We knew where we were going to go. We knew what we had. We never had to worry about like, oh, well, we're going to have food now. Because we were just there enjoying it.
We're about halfway through our video, but just wanted to remind you that we do Disney Plus videos every week, as well as different Disney-inspired videos on Saturdays, which include podcasts, movie facts, news, and Disney park tips. We also vlog our Disney adventures, giving you lots of advice along the way. So make sure to click that subscribe button and the notification bell. Why not join our membership, where you will watch our videos before anyone else, get some additional content, badges, and special emotes. Or you can support us by clicking the super thanks button. We greatly appreciate any and all support from you, but let's get back to the video.
Again, since me and Rebecca went to Disneyland, and it was Rebecca's first time at Disneyland, I really made sure that I wanted her to have like a Disneyland hotel experience as well. From minute one, I was like, gonna stay in a Disney hotel, and like there are 4 Disneyland Paris hotels, official Disney. 5. Which is the 5th one? Cheyenne, Santa Fe.
6. You have Disneyland Paris Hotel. You have Hotel New York. You have the Sequoia Lodge. You have New Bay, Cheyenne, and Santa Fe. Wow!
Yeah. Wow!
That was pretty fun. Put me in the spot there.
I want you on my Disney pub quiz team. But yeah, but the Disneyland Hotel again wasn't open when we were there. It was about to reopen.
Same with us. Yeah, it was literally 2 days after we left, it opened up. So.
Yeah, so previously, like my previous trips, I had only ever, when I was little, I only ever stayed in the Santa Fe and the Cheyenne. And these are, of course, the more budget options. And like we were on a budget at the time, and we and I was
but you say that they budget options, but you can't really tell that they're budget options. They are really nice hotels.
Oh yeah, like it's only budget in compared to the biggest one, you know. But the design and everything of the place is great, you know. Like we were in Santa Fe this time, and we were walking along the US highway, you know, like to go to the parks, to explore, to go back to our room, you know. Just the design on like literally everything, like and the detail, and like you're in for a good experience. Even though the Santa Fe and the Cheyenne, we actually did end up wandering over to the Cheyenne and having a look around. Again, it's like you were in the Wild West. You know, it's like you wouldn't think it. And I think for the experience of staying in a Disney hotel, and of course, like me and Rebecca, like I let Rebecca be the one to open the door into Disney hotel, and the TV is on saying "Welcome's family," you know, like this kind of thing. You know, it makes all the difference.
The VR family.
The VR family, you know, it's special, you know.
Just to let you guys know that Johnny's surname actually is VR legally.
Yes. I changed it when VR became mainstream.
But no, I totally understand where you're coming from with that and things, and that even though the other ones are very expensive, I think me, you, Rebecca, and Gemma need to stay at least one night in Disneyland Paris hotel. One time in our lives.
Can we
but
do
also
yeah.
We really, 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 really need to stay in the Art of Marvel.
Oh yeah. So again, the Art of Marvel wasn't there last time I was there. Like, so that whole area was brand new, and like we went in to explore, and it's like, wow, like the whole, like all the design, the posters, the comic designs, the drawings, the everything in that area that we explored was so cool.
Yeah. So we were in a Good Neighbor hotel. We were in Hotel B&B Disneyland Paris, I think is the official title. And I think there's 5 Good Neighbor hotels. And they are about a 25-minute, 30-minute walk away. But they have a free bus that comes back and forth as well, which is really nice and everything. The brilliant thing is with the Hotel B&B is that you are the first stop that picks up in the morning. So, and they ram those buses.
Oh wow!
So we were lucky that we were on there. So we got a seat and we got a bus every single time. A little tip for people: if they're staying in the Explorer Hotel, which is the one next to it, just walk across to the Hotel B&B. It's literally like 2-minute walk, and then get on there, guaranteed a seat. Just a little tip there. So. Yeah, it's like it was okay for what it was. It's like it is a cheap hotel. The breakfast was lovely, delicious, really nice. They had vending machines and all stuff like that. They had lockers you could put your suitcases in. Friendly staff. I think it was only about £8.50 for the city tax thing as well. So that's not too bad. So yeah, it's like it was all right. As a hotel, it's just anywhere to put your head, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I think you brought to mind something about the luggage there. With the experience of staying in the hotel as well. We arrived on the day that we entered the park, right? And we arrived sort of after park opening, but before our room was ready. So they have a service for this, which we did, where you can drop off all of your bags and stuff and just go to the parks.
And that's a good thing with Disney is you can drop off your luggage there. And also with a lot of Disney hotels, I'm not 100% sure on Disneyland Paris, but I know it happens in the American ones and in the Asian ones, where if you're staying in one hotel, and you decide to move to another hotel, so you got 2 different hotels, they will make sure that your luggage gets taken across for you, and that's a fantastic service, absolutely fantastic. So, but talking about transporting things across, another segue into transportation. So we both flew.
Yes.
There. And something happened, which means that you couldn't fly back.
Yeah.
So you managed to. You got the Eurostar back as well.
I did.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
So,
that was a good experience.
Without explaining the issues, we're going to come to the issues in a bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you found the flight there, and then getting from the airport to the hotel, and then also then the return journey of like how cool was it for the Eurostar?
So pretty much what had happened is the flights was fine. It's like 1 hour just over from London to Paris.
From Paris to Berlin.
It was a very quick flight. You know, it's like those kind of things. By the time you're in the air, you're coming down. You know.
Yeah, it's like.
So the flight was fine. Like, but again, the thing that was for me the worry was that how to get from the airport to the park. Nothing worried me more than this until we were there. And this was because there are transports that you can take. There is a shuttle bus that goes from the airport to the park, and there is a train, like a tube or an underground train that goes all the way there from the airport. However, what I found the issue with was that they all run at specific times, and so when first of all we had our flight that was due to arrive at a certain time, and it's like you can book tickets onto the shuttle bus or the train or something, but they're only at certain times, and sometimes it's like 20 minutes wait between them or 30 minutes wait, and sometimes I think at certain times of the day there's even an hour wait for the next one. So it was a bit nervous because to think like you've gone all that way, you've flown, you've landed, you just want to get to the park and you have to wait for an hour for a train. So
you've already been traveling,
and you've already
been
traveling, exactly. So for us, what happened was our flight out was also delayed, but only by I think it was about 2 or 3 hours. So it felt
only
like
2 or 3 hours.
I mean, it was
I was delayed by an hour and 15.
It was frustrating when we were there, and then I was thinking, of course, if our flight gets delayed and we don't arrive on time and we have to wait an hour extra for the train, like I was like, okay. In the end, we just booked an Uber. So it took us straight there. Right. Like we arrived on.
How much was that Uber? Can you remember? Roughly?
It was I think it was about 40 to 50 euros.
Okay. Yeah.
Which was, considering you would pay for the train or shuttle bus anyway, it picks you up right when you exit the terminal and takes you all the way to the front door. So I think it was, I mean, if it worked out that the timings was good, like, I could have used the train, but I think considering we'd already been delayed, and I was like, I just want to get to the parks at this point. It was totally fine. It was a breeze. Like we sat at the moment we sat down in that Uber, we were like, it's gonna take us there. Like we're almost there.
The worries are gone. And like the worries that I had and stuff with ours, and we booked it all through EasyJet. I'm not going to go into it again because we went into it in a lot of detail last week's video, so make sure to check out that video there. Lots of issues. It's like I'll touch upon it in a moment as well with our issues experience. But, but then you had the Eurostar way back. I flew back, so there was a touch and go whether I was actually flying back. Go watch last week's video to find out what happened. I got stranded in Paris, but so did you. You almost got stranded in Paris.
We did get stranded in Paris.
You had a train then, so tell me about that.
The train was wonderful. Like I was like, if I could go to Paris on a train, I would. Like I would do it in a heartbeat if it wasn't costing so much. I would go everywhere by train, different things. But basically, should I go into the issues bit of it? Why are you doing a Eurostar or?
Not quite yet. Just that was your experience of the travel.
The experience was amazing. The train was great. And
so how did you get from Disney to the Eurostar station?
There was again kind of like a subway that goes directly from Disneyland Paris itself.
Yes. Yeah.
And it goes all the way into Paris, the city center, and then we just changed to get to, I can't remember the name of the train station, but
Lyons.
Gare du Nord.
Gare du Nord. Cool.
Yeah. So this was the one, and both of it is like a stop on the subway. So we eventually got off there, and we were there like again super early for our train. But then again, I feel like everything was easier on the train than it was on the plane. Like the passport check was quicker. The security, the baggage was quicker, and then you go through all of that security as if you were going through a plane, and then it's like you're on a train station, and then you just go to your platform. They let you on, and then that's it. And I couldn't believe as well that it was just like 2 hours by train.
That's pretty good.
2 hours. Yeah. We were just we got on, and like short 2 hours later, and we were there. Like we were home.
I really can't wait to experience it because I really do want to experience the Eurostar train. I've never been in the Eurotunnel. So it's like all the times that I've gone to France previously, I'll say all the times, two other times I've been, there was no Eurotunnel. That's how long ago it was. So I had to get the ferry across and things. And obviously I flew this one, so I can't wait. Next time I go to Disneyland Paris, we're going on a coach. So we're not going on the train. We're going on to the car one and stuff. So, but yeah, so not quite a good segue into this next one now. So that would have been a great segue into the issue.
I said I would love to have gone for the Eurostar if it didn't cost so much usually. So
there's the segue.
So Shack, how much, if you don't mind me asking, was your trip?
So we did have a good deal, and it was pretty cheap, to be honest. So in total, it cost for the flight, the hotel, the airport transfer, and 2-day tickets for 2 adults. That's all we had. The total of that was £700. So it's £350 each. So that's not bad at all, really, for all that. And that's why when you're not staying in a Disney hotel.
Yeah, maybe next time I will.
Yeah, because I know how much it potentially could be for you. Things like so. So let me know, Johnny. You had flights.
We had flights. We had airport.
Well, just to let you know, and to put into perspective as well, it's like the food for us as well came to around about £350. Yeah, it's about £350 for the full 3 days. So it's about just over £1,000, including our food. So that's more fair.
Okay. So pretty much again. So this was flight, Disney hotel, and dining meal plan. Came to 1,569.
That's not bad.
It's not bad considering as well the security that we had booking with Walt Disney Company. And to be honest as well, the funny story was that I was going to book separately. I was going to book our own flights. I would maybe get like a hotel and tickets package and book our own separate flights. But then when I chosen on the Disney website the hotel and tickets, it was saying that not available for this dates. And I was like, Disneyland Paris trip over. And then I realized that if you went through the company and you bought the whole package all together included, then it was like you can go on these dates.
Wow, really?
And I was like, I was like, okay, fine. If this is how we have to go, then we'll go like this.
Yeah.
So if I had been able to book separately,
Yeah.
then maybe I would have had even more struggles
Yes.
on the way back.
That's true. Yeah.
So for the experience, the Disney hotel, which of course is more expensive than the neighborhood hotels, and the dining plan, it was that.
And the dining plan itself is around about, it's just under £500 for two people, for two adults. So if you take that off, really, £1,000 for the Disney hotel and flights is really, really, really good, I think. And it's like, also, what people got to remember as well is Johnny went in August, in the summer. It's a more expensive time, yet it didn't cost that much more than, and because I went in the winter, so it is cheap, and things like that, because people don't want to go. Well, all right then, let's the penultimate point now. Let's hit. We both had issues.
Yeah, we did.
And both with our returns.
I know. They didn't want us to come back.
No.
Clearly.
Well, I never want to come back.
I know. Okay, so I'll run, because you can see, of course, in our vlogs what happened. But briefly, Bank Holiday weekend in August 2023, you may have seen on the news.
Passengers have been warned that flights to and from the UK will continue to face disruptions today after yesterday's air traffic failure caused hundreds of flights to be canceled or delayed.
Is when all of the flights heading specifically towards the UK were grounded, cancelled, whatever, because there was some signal failure. And I mean,
Johnny was not done with Disney.
Yeah. So pretty much it was an extreme circumstance, this, like, nationwide, like, people were stuck all over Europe, like, not just me. So it was like, it was wild. Like, so pretty much we were in the queue, I think, to see Mickey and the Magician, and we had the notification through saying your flight has been delayed. I think it was something like 1 hour to start off with, and then within like half an hour, it was like, your flight's now been delayed for 4 hours. And then we're seeing all of this stuff coming through on the news. And then the next thing was, your flight has been cancelled.
Yeah, I think you came out of Frozen, didn't you? And
it was
saying that.
So the time between those two shows, and I was like, cancel. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And not only that, but flights, we're then looking at other flights, because when it cancels a flight, it gives you the opportunity to book onto another flight for the same. And then all of these flights were gone because everyone is booking onto a new flight. It's because it was such a widespread issue in such a short time. All the flights were gone, and we were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get back? And we're in Disneyland.
It's mad, and it's totally mad. And you were actually in the park as well.
We were in the park.
So that kind of like takes away from your day a little bit as well, the worry.
It was a big worry, considering that was the day that we were going home as well. In our heads, this was our last day. So in the end, I was on the phone to somebody from the Walt Disney Company, because they have a telephone line. And so I called them, and I was on the phone to somebody. I was on hold for a long while, actually.
It's probably because a lot of people were ringing them, I think so.
Yeah, but I was on the call overall for like 2 hours. Wow. 2 hours on the phone call, sitting in the park. Do you know where, I think on your vlog, where you had the Buzz Lightyear wings painted onto a...
Oh, yeah. That
is where I was sat 2 hours, stressing out about how I'm going to get home, stranded in France. And so there was, they're in Toy Story Land. And I was on the phone for a long time. But
I was in Pizza Hut, right, in Cardiff. And I was there with Andrew and Emma from Dcast, and we were there with the four of us were having a good old meal and things like that. And then my phone goes boop, boop, and I look like that, and there's a message from Johnny going, "Have you seen the news?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Why would I see the news?" And he went, "We're stranded in Disney." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, it was like that.
I remember that quite vividly.
It was quite strange. Yeah. So I was like, So pretty much I was on the phone for 2 hours and I was on hold for a long time. But all of the while, there was somebody on the other, I think maybe every 10 minutes, coming back onto the phone saying, "Hi, I'm sorry, we can't, I've not got through to anyone yet. I just want to come check how you are. You're still on hold, so happy to hold."
Nice.
And then it left me on hold. Every 10 minutes, this woman came back to check on me that I was still on hold and like it's still okay and like we're doing our best to get through. So it was not like I was on hold constantly with nobody. There was somebody checking constantly. Yeah. In the end, I did get through to someone. And then I told him the situation. And I said to him, like, look, there's no flights. Like, everyone's booking onto another flight. And he said, I've never seen anything like this before. He's like, there's people now who are booking onto flights that are then being cancelled. And then they have to book onto another flight. He said there were people on the runway to get on the plane. That flight was then cancelled when they were on the runway. He said, I've never seen anything like this. And so then basically I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, how are we going to get back? And he was like, is there any like flights available? And I was like, no, until like next week. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't stay away for this much time. And then he was like, I was like, there's Eurostars, like, but everyone is booking Eurostars now because like planes are off and the Eurostar prices go way high then because of this. And he was like, have a look, see if you can book a Eurostar. And he said, he made this clear. He was like, we will reimburse you the cost of the Eurostar if you can get it. And I was like, this was on the Monday that we were due to come back. And I was looking for the Tuesday and I was on the phone with him saying, okay, I'm trying to book this Tuesday one now. And then it disappeared. And then I was like, the Tuesday one is this much, and then it disappeared. And he was like, okay, stay calm. It's okay. Like, take your time. Like, you can do it right. Like, all the while trying to calm you down in a stressful situation. Yeah. And then I was like, the next Eurostar that I got is on the Wednesday early morning. It's this much. And he's like, can you book it? And I was like, I think I can. He's like, book it. We can reimburse you for that. Funny enough as well, it was actually a first class ticket in the Eurostar.
Nice.
Because it was
no wonder you were like going,
no wonder. It was so good. It was good, yeah. But it was a first class one because everything else had been taken. Like, everything else had been taken, and they didn't question it. They were just like, book it. And then I gave the receipt, and then I had the reimbursement for it. So I think so. First of all, and then I was like, well, what like. Now I need to worry about how am I gonna, like, where am I gonna stay, because there's 2 nights now before the train. I don't know where I'm gonna stay. And he's like, are you staying in a Disney hotel? I was like, yeah, we're staying in Santa Fe. And then he was like, I'm sending something to them so they can put you up also for 2 more nights. So in one phone call, he managed to sort out our transport back relatively soon as well, compared to other people who had to wait for a lot longer before they were able to get on the flight. And he was able to put us up, so we were not worried then about where we were going to stay. Yeah. So that's, I think, one good story.
And you had a day in Paris then. The
had
next
a day in Paris, it's like
impromptu trip to Paris.
It was, like, what we're going to do with a spare day
on Skybot expenses.
So much Skybot expense. I had 1,000 croissants.
The free ones, obviously, at breakfast. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's like it was an extra day, so you were spending more money then because of it. But luckily, you could have your food money reimbursed and stuff like that.
Yeah. This was all included. Yeah. I think the thing is, like, we went from very, very stressed over the course of a phone call. They solved everything. Yeah. They literally solved everything for us. Yeah. And a lot of people would have been struggling at that time. So. Yeah.
And that's the good thing. That's the security you had of booking with the Walt Disney Company. Whereas I booked with EasyJet Holidays. And I didn't have a good thing. It's like all my worries were mainly before we left. And they kept on going, yeah, we sorted it. And they did not sort it to the point where the taxi took us to the wrong airport because EasyJet didn't tell them about the change, and then the middle company in between EasyJet, the middle company, and the taxi people didn't tell the taxi company about the change of airport and stuff. So yeah, please do go back and watch last week's video. We bear all about it. We throw no punches with it and stuff like. It almost ruined our holiday. And I think we needed a holiday from that experience. Yeah. But there you go. So we're just going to wrap it up now then, Johnny. It's like, I'm not going to go into too much detail of mine because obviously I've done 2 videos now where I've gone into a lot of detail.
It's a good thing that the last thing on the list is after reliving that memory is the best memory.
I thought end on a high. We've had loads of really highs and then we go to a little bit of a low and then high. So best memory. Johnny, what was your best memory?
For me, it has to be first of all, there was the experience of being first of all going to Disneyland as an adult. When I was free to do all my own thing and do whatever I want in the park. The most important thing though for me, the best memory was seeing Rebecca's first time in Disneyland. This was
it's something magical about that, isn't it?
It was her dream come true, and I was I had a little part to play in that, making that dream come true. And
when I was editing the video, I was getting emotional from seeing her because it relived March last year when I went to Florida, and that was Gemma's first ever time. Disney and stuff so. Yeah, it's magic, isn't it?
The first time is all you'll never forget ever. Yeah. And
I can't remember because I was this big.
I was. Me too. I remember vague bits of it.
It's I know I'm only this big now, but
yeah, but everything with the castle and stuff, I was especially when she first saw the castle, I was like, let's walk more towards the perimeter of the thing, because if you walk towards the center, you'll see it. And I was if you walk towards the perimeter, then you go around the corner and there it is. I was trying to make.
I stopped Gem underneath the train station in Disneyland Paris.
Oh yeah.
I was give me your hand. But she didn't cry when she seen it. The Disneyland Paris castle. She filled up a little bit, but literally the day that we were leaving, Niagara Falls.
Other best memory was of course in the parade. I was there with my Mickey hat, my Mickey shirt.
Yeah, I envy you.
This was I was Mickey everything, and then Mickey pointed at me and then went this so they spotted me in the crowd wearing all Mickey stuff. This was
and you caught that on camera as well.
Yes. It's so cool.
Yeah. I'm jealous because I wanted to see Mickey. I had my Sorcerer Mickey hat on and stuff, and he was on the other side, wasn't he? Because we'd got off a ride and I knew we were on the wrong side, and I was no, my boy. And it's what is he? Oh, he's stuck. He's stuck down there. Indiana Mickey is down there, but you can see my Mickey in the background over there. Now that Mickey is older than JonnyVR.
No.
A lot older. He's almost a decade older than you.
Oh wow!
So that just shows. I'm not going to say how.
I've been reduced to.
Yeah. But my best memory of Disneyland Paris. Well, two really good things. Yes, I enjoyed the atmosphere and everything there, but having a glass of champagne in front of the castle, cheers into the castle and things, which was one of your bingo questions.
Yes.
So we did it, and we were having a drink and we were wandering around then with these glasses, right? And everyone was looking at us going, it's kind of where did they get that from? We were
I was wait.
Yeah, it was hilarious. But then attraction wise, for me, it's gotta be Lion King, Rhythm of the Pride Lands. It was phenomenal. Absolutely, it was proper West End / Broadway production. Phenomenal. It's I loved Web Slingers. That was really cool. There was lots of cool rides there and stuff. But just that show, it's like if I did go and pay to watch the Broadway show, a shorter version.
Yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah,
No, that
yeah.
was
Oh,
my
nice.
best memory there. But it's over to you guys. Let us know what your favorite memory is of Disneyland Paris. If you have been, if you haven't been, what are you excited about going to see? There's like, ask us any questions. We've got lots of different experiences now between the two of us. And yeah, it's
Hopefully
like
there'll be many more to come.
there will be. We're talking about lots of trips at the moment, John, aren't we?
Yeah.
So keep tuned for that. Make sure to subscribe to us and things because we've got lots planned. So
Yeah.
it's like next week's video, I take you on a tour around the hotel B&B at Disneyland Paris Hotel and give you a bit of tips of how to go there. And then that's the end of our vlogs then for a couple of months. But then literally it's going to be pretty much back to back. Every Monday you will have a vlog for I think a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Yeah, it's we've got quite a lot planned there and stuff like, and we're always impromptu going to places and things as well.
Yeah.
Especially you being in London when there's like, oh, there's a red carpet event. I'm just gonna pop down and see it. Like, so, but there we go. So there we are. Well, that is it for our Disneyland Paris debrief.
So don't forget to click that subscribe button and the notification bell.
You can also join our membership for extra content and access to videos like this as soon as they are uploaded.
And make sure to check out both of our Disneyland Paris vlogs, and we'll see you next time.